Fujinon 55mm f1.8 film mirror lens from the Fuji Photo Film Company. Let's take a look. Went on a photo walk with this lens, as well as took a look and found out it was slightly radioactive. The lens has a solid metal design, similar to some of the Asahi Super Takamar lenses that I've used, especially the 50mm f1.4. Although this lens has a nice silver ring for the aperture control, I did attach this lens to a Canon EOS M6 Mark II that has a silver top, decent combination with that accent of silver on the lens. With my outdoor photography outing, I was using a Nikon Z5 with a Fotasy lens adapter. This camera is great as a lower cost option with a full frame sensor and a good viewfinder. To use manual lenses, images were taken with NEF RAW and processed in NX Studio, exported them at 4K resolution with picture control set to standard and normal active D-lining. This camera has many benefits like peaking highlights, a range of zoom in percentages that you can attach to different buttons on the camera. It's a really nice combination with older lenses or even newer manual focus lenses. The electronic viewfinder is a great combination as well, so you can see your exposure in the viewfinder, use the camera a traditional way rather than just relying on the LCD screen. 55mm is a pretty nice focal length for full frame cameras in my opinion, so it works out well for nature photography, portraits, whatever you want to do. And considering you can get critical focus with zooming in on the camera, it actually works well for pretty much anything except action photography. The lens is somewhat radioactive, probably about a third as hot as the Pentax Asahi Super Takamar 50mm f1.4 that I had, so at least keep that in mind. I don't really have a strong opinion on the matter, but it's good to know. You can often tell with a lens like this by the color of the lens itself. Considering its age, it's got that golden tint. Taking a look at the images from my photo walk, they look pretty detailed. Honestly, I like the colors, I like the look. When you get critical focus, it looks good. Backgrounds can feel busy at times, depending on your aperture distance from the subject and what's in the frame. Other times it looks smooth and pleasing. The 55mm focal length, maximum aperture, and minimum focus distance allow for isolating somewhat small subjects. Obviously, it's not going to be like a macro lens, but you can get decently close, and you could use extension tubes with this lens if you want. It's a good focal length for that use case. Defocusing the lens and looking at the image coming from that, I think it looks cool. But again, that's up to personal preference. Once things come back into focus, it looks very pleasing. I like the color, good amount of detail to the images. This was definitely a very nifty 55 for people in the SLR film era. Mirrorless cameras have brought these old film era lenses into a newfound value. They're easy to use. Obviously, you have to go slower than using an autofocus lens, but it's a different way to enjoy photography. I think it's a great thing to try out if you've never used manual film era lenses on a mirrorless camera. Check it out. In this case, the Fujinon 55mm f1.8 is a nice example of that. Could be an interesting option. Hope you enjoyed the video. Scott Photography Banzai. Thanks.